This episode is brought to you by Tongue FM. Tongue is a podcast player designed to help you discover the best podcasts. With Tongue, you get a feed of what your friends are recommending. You can go to tongue.fm to check out the feed. That's TUNG.FM or search tongue.fm on the App Store. Enjoy the show.
Arsenic can oddly shaped feet.
Did you just smack your elbows on the table again?
No, I just did. That's the name. That's the table.
That's
what?
Patrick, that is not at all the velocity at which you lowered your elbows.
It wasn't as hard as you.
That's what she said.
And you smacked the table again? I say don't even touch the table. I say hands off the table. Nothing touches the table. There you go, Patrick. What did I just say?
No, you didn't hear that one though.
I don't care if I can hear it. I don't want to see it.
Are we going?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Patrick!
Okay. Put your hands up.
Sit on your hands. Ready? Everybody
Let's do the intro.
Everybody sit on your hands. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Geekcast Podcast. My name is Greg St. Clair.
Dan Whitehead.
Patrick Aaron, I keep my elbows up here.
Hey,
We don't want to see your armpit
Can we
hair
stop?
either.
can we stop screaming, okay? So they can understand us and it's not just loud noises.
It's late, man. I'm tired.
It is late. But you guys wanted to do
This
it
is
today.
I
season
didn't wanna do it
2,
today.
episode 2.
You want to do it today?
I didn't want to do it tonight. I was doing.
Oh.
I was doing a lot of homework during the
You
day.
didn't want to do it last night.
I want to do it last night.
Yeah.
I want to do it tonight.
Right.
I had a lot of homework to do,
Right.
which is done, but you know, I hate it.
It's part of school, man. You got 1 year left.
Man, I'm so ready to be done. I'm so ready to be done. I'm just ready for the next thing.
What's the next thing?
California.
In Cali.
That's the goal.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm still thinking maybe California, New York City, maybe Austin. Those are
That's
big
like
three.
top 3.
Those
But
are big 3 for me.
Yeah.
Austin's cool, especially if there were the movie we just saw.
Plus, I have family there too, so it's like,
True.
You at least have somewhere to go.
yeah, we'll be completely homeless when I go there,
Yeah.
which is always nice.
I might be.
Completely homeless is always good.
Stop touching the table.
I don't make noises when I touch the table. I'm not like a mammoth.
Anyway.
We all have noises. Look, he's got jingly keys on. I got the watch. Oh, here we go. Okay. Nobody make a sound. You can hear the ticking of the watch. We're all messed
I'm
up.
making the ticking of the Batman clock too.
Let's
up
listen.
there.
Yep, you can hear it.
pretty loud.
I almost heard that one too. They were like in sync.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good this way.
All right. We're just killing time here because if you can't tell, we don't have a whole lot to talk about this week.
Well, Sunday, Dan and Patrick had the pleasure of.
We can't even introduce it ourselves.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I do.
Can you handle it? Need me to hold your hand? Hold your hand. Go ahead.
So, yesterday,
You guys
being
look cute
Sunday,
together. No, I'm gonna
take my hand, Patrick.
No.
Take my hand, Patrick.
You raise me up.
All right, this is weird. So, this is why we need video because it's much funnier. We can see it.
Elbows.
See, you're right. Again, did you hear it though?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, lead by example.
All right. So, yesterday, being Sunday, the normal day we do the podcast, we went to Baltimore Comic Con, Patrick and I have here the playbill. I call it the playbill, but it's really called
It's a program.
Playbill. What?
Playbill's like when you go to a play.
I understand
Yeah, I
that,
don't
but have you not been
understand
to an event where there's like a program?
Sports. Okay,
I
so
guess.
here we go. And it's got a lot of cool stuff. Some of the programming people had Haley Atwell from Agent Carter and a bunch of the Marvel movies. She plays Agent Carter, if that wasn't obvious enough. And then they had Michael Rowe, who played Deadshot in Arrow there as well. Sean Astin.
Oh, Michael Rowe was there?
Yeah.
Oh, man, he was so good. What else is he doing?
I don't know.
He's just there for the role he was killed for?
Wow, spoiler. Yeah.
What do you mean? We've talked about this.
a couple
Sean
years.
Astin was there, which we have some stuff to say about.
Yeah.
Poor Patrick. And then Christian Nairn, who also known as Hordor, was there. So those are the top.
You should have had him sign the sign.
That would have been funny.
That would have been funny.
We're probably going to have to get a new one, or maybe I'll type it up official, so it looks a little.
Yeah,
better
probably
than
some
mine.
graphic on there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
get like a picture of him there.
Yeah, holding the door.
Yeah.
So quick,
But like a really, really tiny one, like down here.
right? So people are like, "What is
What
it?"
the fuck is that?
So with Sean Astin, he was walking around, and he's a nice dude and everything. And Patrick earlier in the morning had bought a Goonies poster, and we didn't know we were going to see Sean Astin walking around.
Who is Sean Astin, for the people who don't know who Sean Astin is?
Shame on you for not knowing, but he's Samwise Gamgee in the 3 Lord of the Rings movies, and he also plays Mikey in the Goonies.
and also Rudy in the movie Rudy.
Yeah, among many other things, but those are probably his top 3. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so he was walking around, and we happened to see him. Patrick pointed him out to me, and I was like, "What? Why are you touching me?" Thinking that to myself. And I turned around, and that's him. And now he's
because like before they had announced that he was like out and about.
Yeah, I'm
walking,
thinking
like,
it's a big area. We're not going to see him, whatever, right? And he's there, and he's on his phone. He's probably doing something for social media, whatever. And I didn't think of it till later on, and we should have seen if he would sign his Goonies poster. Like, how cool would that be?
Yeah.
You just got to sign. And I said, Patrick, you're gonna like talk to him, you're gonna say hi to him, like say
I totally choked,
and
and
he was
like,
just like, it's whatever. And
I thought like I would see him walking around, but like just like across the convention. I didn't think like he'd be literally like right behind me. It was like at South by Southwest that we went to in the spring, and like we Elijah Woodhill was promoting a movie, and he was like 2 rows in front of us, and I was like, fuck.
You get a little starstruck. It's okay.
Yeah,
but to me,
I was the same way with Seth Rogen when he sat across the aisle from me during the Preacher premiere. Mm-hmm. My face. Can we help you?
Oh, you gotta announce who else is here.
Yeah,
help you,
my
Kyle?
brother's here. My brother's here watching, or not really watching or caring. But
I think he's drawing pornographic pictures on his iPad Pro. That's a hairy vagina. Holy crap!
He's
a big beaver.
Wow. And then we just lost all our new friends that we made at Comic Con. So thanks for listening until then. Just on like our page or whatever. Anyway, that's a good transition.
No, but the whole thing with Sean Astin, like if I would have seen him there with you guys, I probably would have started the Rudy chant every single time I saw him.
I think a couple of them were doing. Some of the fans
they
were
did
like,
Goonies.
Rudy,
They're like, "Hey, you guys!" And he like awkwardly laughed, like, it's like I've never heard that one before. And yeah, so I kind of wish I said something, but I know Patrick, it would have meant something to you because you're a bigger fan than I.
But it doesn't matter because I chose.
But it's okay. So it's over. We
I
move
fucked
on.
up anyway.
And I would have done the same thing with Haley Atwell because she's so sophisticated.
Kevin Conroy
and hot.
Yeah,
She's hot.
Yeah, I was gonna say classy and beautiful, but okay.
She's hot.
That's what you think. So we met some new friends here. I'd hope that we consider them friends. One of the tables, among many, is they had independent comics set up, and they also had. Oh well, wait a minute, Greg. Let's talk about you for a second.
Oh yeah, that nice.
Moi?
Yeah, I know. Great. He gets to talk about himself.
Oh man, let me get ready. Hold on. Wait. Go.
Another side story that we were there. Greg wasn't able to make it. We didn't mention that already. And while we were looking at Third Eye Comics, which we love and we hope you support, they had a bunch of signs that say, buy one of these comics, and the author is here today. Is that what you call them? Comics authors?
Yeah.
Writers.
So.
Writer.
Yeah,
We'll say writer. So one of the writers is
Creator.
here and stuff. Creators, yeah. And so I saw that they had a bunch of like Hulk storylines, and I know Greg was a big fan of the Planet Hulk storyline in World War Hulk and all that stuff. So I grabbed Planet Hulk, and it turns out the main writer, Greg Pak, was there at the event, and he may be listening to this now. I don't know, because I gave him a card, and if he didn't throw it out or put his gum in it first, he may be listening. So, hey, what's up, man? If you ever want to be on our podcast, email us. We would love to have you on here. Quick side note. But I went up to him, and I got him to sign Planet Hulk, and it says, what does it say? Hi, Greg.
Hulk it
keep
up.
on hulking, or
I think
Hulk it out.
I think it's Hulk it out or Hulk it up, yeah.
Yeah, and then it says Greg Pak. So Greg has a signed copy of Planet Hulk.
It's pretty cool. Planet Hulk is definitely probably top 3 favorite comic storyline for me. So that was a pretty cool gift. But that's my like super early Christmas gift, so I don't get shit from Dan in December. But
Patrick's is coming. He has to wait. So
Highly waiting.
Yeah. It's a good one. I think you'll like it. I was between some things, and then I saw the one thing that I was I'm gonna get you. So, anyway, our new friends though, they're part of what they call Square City Comics. We have to use our cheat cards here. Mm-hmm. We have Christy Cunningham, which we just saw you liked our page, so rock and roll. Thanks for supporting us, and we can support you. We have KS and Brenowitz. I want to say Brenowitz. Yes, Brenowitz.
Brenowitz.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, and Emily R. Gillis of Wayward Studios, and also part of Square City.
Is it Gillis? Is it Gillis?
I think it's Gillis.
Gillis?
I say Gillis or Gillis.
I'm going to say Gillis.
Gillis makes more sense.
Gillis.
Like Greg, it makes a good sound, right? Mm-hmm. So
That's G-I. Like George.
It's G-E.
Okay.
Let's keep moving.
I don't know. Let's move on. It doesn't matter. So
sorry for fudging up your name. I'm just like playing devil's advocate with words.
Right. So they're all independent cartoonists, illustrators, comic book creators, all that good stuff. And they have awesome work, and you should check them out at Square Cities Comics. They have a Facebook page and a website and all that good stuff. They're really cool. Patrick bought one of their comics.
Yeah, about one of the comics, there's Shadow Play. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting it. But it's basically about these two siblings, and one of them turns into a shadow by accident because they're messing with some sorcery shit. And
That sounds kind of cool.
I thought it was really yeah, that was like really interesting premise. So I just bought it immediately, like for $5.
It sounds cute.
It was cute. I liked all illustrations, kind of more simplified, very black and white. And actually, the author who was handling all the money exchange, she actually signed it herself, which is nice.
Which
And
I believe was Emily.
among those people that we met, we also dropped by a bunch of creators who also created this new Stargate Atlantis comic book series for any fans of Stargate Atlantis or SG-1. And I like immediately left out almost like Squeed, basically. Almost like left out my pants. I was just like so excited that there was like
a load in his pants.
I did. I was so excited.
Wait, are you telling me he dropped a load on his pants, like how he drops his elbows on the table?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Hard and fast.
I'm in the moment. Okay, and I was so excited because like there's hardly any like Stargate like just representation at conventions that I've seen, and so it's just cool to actually see its actual table and actual creators behind it, just dealing out their new comic books. And I bought the 3 issues. They're really good. The artwork is kind of simplified, not as much detail as like something you'd see like in a Greg Rucka comic book, like Batman or Wonder Woman. But it was really interesting, and I'm excited to read more when they come out later on this year.
Bless me.
Cool.
And also it's American Mythology Productions.
Cool. Did you also get an X-Files spec script?
I did. It was from the author who I think is doing the most recent X-Files run in comics, and he actually signed the actual script.
And his name is
Joe Harris.
Joe Harris. All of which we gave them a card. So if you guys are listening, thanks for listening. Thanks for checking us out. If there's anything we can do for you, let us know. And their offers, as well as to our new independent comic book friends, if you guys want to be on our show or you want to talk to us further, reach out to us. We'd love to.
And the writers are for the Stargate Atlantis comic was Mark L. Haynes, J.C. Vaughn, and the artist was Greg LaRocque. I think I'm pronouncing that right.
A lot of Gregs.
Floating
around.
It's a great name.
It's a moderately okay name.
It's a great... Insult my dad, why don't you?
No, only seniors are okay.
And people that we met.
And people that we met. Like Greg Peck.
So just not me.
Sure.
That gun is here somewhere.
Checking out Hodor.
Yeah, checking
Hodor.
Yeah, so we keep talking about Hodor. It's because here, if you ever been to our house here in we have a small storage closet that
It's like a Harry Potter bedroom type closet
that we call Hodor. We have a little piece of paper that I wrote Hodor on it because when we moved in,
the Hodor event in
had
Game
just
of Thrones
happened.
was very popular.
Yeah. So we took a note of it, and only about 3 people have gotten it of all the people that have visited. My cousin who watches it and our friend Luke, the only ones who've gotten it. Everyone else is like Hodor. Like I don't understand.
Well, they suck.
You don't even watch the show, but I guess you got it.
Yeah.
Because I explained it to you.
It's like all over social media.
Well, you explained it to me, but it's like Game of Thrones fans and Walking Dead fans are just
so bad with spoilers.
Terrible. Probably the worst of any fandom in anything.
No, absolutely.
There is no respect for like holding the art and making them see it. Like
You can get caught up in the lazy seasons just by going on social media.
Yeah, I know what happens in
Yeah.
season
It's like,
6
okay,
of
yeah,
Walking
like, totally.
Dead, so.
Yeah, like a Star Wars or any of the superhero movies that are happening, like those worlds, those fans are very good. No, the Star Wars and like the superhero movies, they're very good about just like keeping everything under
Especially
wraps.
Star Wars.
Yeah, like people are very, very respectful of that. But when it
People
comes
like to stay off social media.
which I think that might be some of the reason why like Game of Thrones and Walking Dead kind of turns me off, is just because of the clientele it attracts. I'm not saying they're like bad people. I have tons of friends who watch Game of Thrones and Walking Dead, but the show just doesn't attract me because I kind of already know what's going on, and even when I know what's going on, it doesn't sound interesting to me.
I mean, it's not for everybody. It's one of those where you have to be kind of interested in mythology and like worlds and worlds of history and stuff like that. Like,
it's kind of, the sex and the violence is what kind of is like the real.
I was just thinking about it because I wanted to watch Lord of the Rings soon because I haven't watched it in a while and I was just interested in stuff. And that's another one that if you're not interested in fantasy lore and all that kind of stuff, it's not going to be for you because it goes on for years, hundreds of years. Even Star Wars too, Old Republic, and then what future and all that kind of
I've
stuff.
seen Lord of the Rings like a dozen times, but I still forget some names because the names are just so complicated. And just,
especially now when you add the Hobbit trilogies, which were decent at best, but even just all the names, like the new characters and all that stuff, it gets confusing. But I just remember the important ones. So.
And that's that. You want to sip that a little bit?
Sure. So all in all, Comic Con was really cool. Baltimore Comic Con.
it's my first time going, and I had a blast. Go next year.
I think it's important that these events happen because, athletic people have their sporting events, and people in the theater and all that stuff, they have their plays, and so people that are into fandom and kind of stuff, they need somewhere to go and express themselves and be able to dress up and feel comfortable doing that, and I think Comic-Con is such an important place for that.
Especially like local Comic-Con, so it's not just San Diego, New York. It's just we also
or like
Baltimore.
Bronies Fest or whatever.
I think there was a Brony comic book artist there.
No, I remember there being a Brony stand specifically.
I'm sure
last year. That's interesting.
Hey, everyone's into something.
Yeah,
that's cool. But so that's where they're important, and I support them. And hopefully, if you have one in your area, if you're not from the Baltimore area, go check one out, or go to any of those kind of cons or conventions and all that stuff. So.
No matter like who the guests are. Like last year when Dan and I went, what enticed us to go was the fact that Katie Cassidy and Paul Blackthorne from Arrow were there. So that was kind of like the main reason we went. But at the same time, you never know what you're going to see, who you're going to see there. And we're kind of like great local artists you have there too. So supporting them as well is also a huge thing to do.
And look what happened. We made some cool new friends. And one of them may be working with me on my senior project poster. So we'll see what happens there. If not, she's going to connect me with someone who can. So that's another thing, is you can make connections with people as well. So that's all I have to say about Comic-Con, I think.
Do you want to talk about... Should we talk about it? Or are you going to see it in theaters? Are you going to see Hell or High Water in theaters?
I'll try to, but if push comes to shove, I'll just wait till Redbox.
Well, we can just like talk about it.
What we're saying is, if we spoil it, are you okay with that?
You can go ahead and spoil. I'll probably forget by the time I actually see it.
Okay.
So Dan and I, not 3 hours ago, just saw Hell or High Water, the new film featuring Chris Pine, Ben Foster, and Jeff Bridges. And basically what happens is Chris Pine and Ben Foster's characters are two brothers whose mom just passed away, and in order to pay off the debt they owed to the bank, who pretty much screwed their mother over in the first place, they have to rob banks. And it's about them going through that, trying to get that money to pay off all the debt. And Jeff Bridges' character is the sheriff, or he's a sheriff.
He's a
ranger.
Texas
He's a ranger.
Ranger.
He's a ranger. And
on the way out the door, he's like almost retired.
Yeah. And he's trying to stop these guys, basically. And it was a pretty interesting story, especially of the recent recession we've had here in the United States, where and just over the past couple decades in general, that banks are just viewed as the worst places in the world for just screwing over people and just taking advantage of innocent civilians. And that's kind of what they did with the mother. She was very, very sick, and they charged the mortgage rate was, what did the one attorney say? The mortgage rate was just the perfect amount to keep your mom still poor. even though they could have definitely charged her less, and then the back taxes and everything else.
Right.
So Chris Pine and Ben Foster's character, they robbed the bank, the branch banks of the same conglomerate bank. I think it was Texas Midland.
Texas Midland Bank, yeah.
All their branches, which is the same bank that screwed over their mother. So it's kind of like a revenge vendetta type thing.
They will rob the bank, and then they take that money, which they only would go up to $20, non put together bills, like all loose bills,
just in the drawers, drawers,
so that they couldn't trace it with the $100 and stuff, $100 bills and stuff, and then they take it to Oklahoma, where they have an Indian casino, buy or switch it out for chips, hang out for a little while, or maybe spend a little bit on poker, blackjack, whatever, and then exchange it back. And they take some of it, change it to cash, and then the rest they put into a check to Midland Bank. So basically, they steal money to pay back. So basically, the bank's not making any money; it's just getting their money back.
Yeah.
They're not getting any money from them, though.
Yeah, it's very, very, very creative in that sense. The movie was unexpectedly clever and funny.
Very funny.
Ben Foster's character, Dan and I were talking about this on the way back. Ben Foster is such an underrated actor. He's very,
it's
very
kind of like a chameleon.
Yeah. But he was in the most recent thing I saw with him before this was Lone Survivor, and he was fantastic in Lone Survivor. But that was the first thing I saw of him in a while.
I always remember him as Angel in X-Men
Yeah,
Last Stand.
that's the first time I ever saw him.
Very, very good. But just really funny. Like the one time he asked Chris Pine to get him a Dr. Pepper in the gas station, and then they leave in the gas station. It's like, what the fuck is this, Mr. Pibb? Only assholes drink Mr. Pibb.
As they're driving away, it's from outside the car. You just hear him.
Yeah, just like real casual, just so funny, just really quick. And Jeff Bridges' character as the old white man, Texas Ranger.
Heavy accent.
His partner is a Native American Mexican.
Half Native American, half Mexican.
So the entire time, Jeff Bridges is just shitting on his heritage.
Not in a mean way,
no,
just joking.
Just shooting the shit.
Yeah. But in a joking way where he's being playful, but in today's society, people are gonna be like,
he's going. At one point they're in a motel and they're watching this Christian show. And he's like, turn that shit off. What are we watching this for? And he's like, aren't you supposed to be dancing around a fire or something? He's like, I'm Christian or whatever. And then, what did he say? There's more. Oh, this guy on TV wouldn't know God if a rattlesnake rolled up his pants and bent him into pecker.
Yeah, so
stuff
funny.
like that. Just change it. Yeah. So they end up watching football or something. So.
Definitely really, really good. Dan kind of describes a neo-Western type flick, and I think it was very enjoyable. I think it's very entertaining. I think it's definitely a contender for best original screenplay.
I felt like from the trailers, this is gonna be recognized.
I would say the screenplay, unfortunately, I think it's too funny for them to consider for acting. And I wouldn't say the roles were amazing, blown away roles, but they were
solid.
They were good. For the movie,
and it fit really, really well. Nothing felt out of place. Everything was okay, I can definitely picture this happening. And what was I going to say? The film felt very independent. The only big production company that helped fund it was a CBS Films, but we said Lionsgate probably distributed it.
Distribution,
which makes sense. But everything else was independent companies that helped fund this, and it felt like it too. Even with the high actors they have, very high quality actors they had, it felt like a really nice independent piece. I wouldn't be surprised if that played at Sundance. I don't know if it did or not, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did.
Yeah, I don't know.
So do you think cinematography direction might be that's what it'll be nominated for if it does?
I think the script is its best bet.
Okay.
Cinematography
was it wasn't amazing. It was good for pretty much everything was good for the movie.
Okay.
But it was also a good movie. It wasn't one of those things where it's the movie's okay, but everything kind of fit in that. So I guess you gotta work with it. No, it was a very good movie.
The strongest was the writing,
and I really recommend seeing it. But yeah, everything fit very, very well in this world that they created there.
Right, and then the big shock was, of course, there's the climactic scene. They rob the final bank, and then the Rangers figure out this is the bank they're going to, blah, blah, blah. And so they kind of get into a shootout, chase out, whatever. And Ben Foster and Chris Pine, they split because they had two different cars. So they had one hidden, and then they kind of split. And Chris Pine and Ben Foster share a nice moment where it's I love you, man, I love you too. And then he goes, go fuck yourself too. And they kind of both know what's going to end up happening. So Ben Foster goes and kind of leads the cops away, and then Chris Pine takes the money and goes like kind of the opposite direction. And Ben Foster leads him up this canyon. He's got this old Bronco, and he kind of gets stuck on this hill, because it's the desert kind of. And what he ends up doing is he takes out this big thing of gasoline and rag, whatever, lights it on fire, jumps out the car, and just lets the car roll back into the cop's car, just boom, blow up. I mean, the cops got out in time, like for safety and stuff, but then he runs up the hill with his sniper rifle and he starts, shooting at them. And the Rangers pull up, so Jeff Bridges and I can't remember his partner, Alberto, roll up, and they're ready to go, and Alberto's got like his own rifle and he's kind of shooting.
Like an M16.
And all of a sudden you hear poof, and it's just Alberto just boom falls.
He falls backward, and like Jeff Bridges is like giving orders at the time, so he's like not even paying attention. He's like, oh man!
And what was interesting about it, it wasn't one of those where you kind of see it coming, where it's like that slow mo, like.
It's like in the heat of the moment.
It was just bam, done, and he was dead. It wasn't there was no moment of like having that last conversation. He was dead, done.
Yeah.
Like he picks him up and he tries to move him, and you see like brains kind of
coming out of his cowboy hat
and stuff like that, like done. And I was like, wow, you don't see that too
often. Very Hollywood. Yeah.
That's what made it independent.
Okay.
Because independent movies would do that. A Hollywood movie, they would have made it. Oh, you're such a good cop and blah blah blah.
You're gonna see that big chief in the sky.
Stay with me. It's like no, independent. Bam, he's dead. That's it. They're not gonna sugarcoat it. And then, so of course Jeff Bridges is just like he's mine. And then the locals, which is you gotta love Texas for this because
it's
locals,
they played the Texas locals up so well.
The locals, when they had their last big bank robbery thing, there was all these people in there, right? And they had to kill the one security guard that was in there, and another guy had his own gun.
And then one of the women texts somebody people robbing the bank, get over here. And as they're leaving the bank, there's 5 cars that are just shooting at these guys.
They're not cops. They're
citizens. And they get in the car and they drive away, and they keep driving away, and there's 5 Dodge Ram, Ford F-150 pickup trucks following these guys, and then they're far enough ahead, and Ben Foster's like, hold on a second, and he gets out of the car, pulls like an AK-47, probably M16 out of his car, and starts firing at all 5 of these cars
until they back off,
and they back off, and then they come back for when he's at the sniper rifle part, and they're like. The guy's like, he'll be sure as shit dead, and I'll hang him over the hood of my car or something like that.
Yeah, because Jeff Bridges is like, do you know this area? He's like the back of my hand. He goes, all right, well, you need to take me up, around, whatever, and blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, but it's mine. He's the one. I'm going to kill him. So when they get up to the hill, he's all sweaty and everything, because he's old. And he's like, you seem pretty winded. Maybe I should take this high. He's like, damn. No, he's like, fuck you, basically.
He's like, sure as shit, my gun, too.
Yeah.
But
So Jeff Bridges.
Yeah. And then the beginning of the movie, I thought was very well done, where the first thing.
He's dead.
The first thing is that. He does. Sorry.
He shoots him in the head, and, that's it. And then, go ahead.
The beginning of the movie. Sorry, I mean to ruin your part of the ending.
That's okay.
Beginning of the movie shows Chris Pine and Ben Foster robbing the first bank, and it's pretty easy. There's one bank teller, and then the bank owner gets there. Ben Foster just hits him in the nose with a pistol whip, and then they get the money from the cash register, and they go to a next bank. But at this next bank, there's a customer who's there right now. It's kind of an older gentleman, bolo tie, cowboy shirt, super Texan, and they you have a gun on you? He's like, sure, hell yeah. And then they take the gun, and Chris Pine just puts it on the counter, doesn't take it or anything. And as they're leaving, the guy grabs his gun and just starts shooting at him.
Chases him outside.
Yeah. Boosh, boosh, yeah. Giant Colt 45, just oh man, it felt like Texas.
Would you believe that they actually shot that in Mexico?
Did they really?
Yeah, I heard that. Mexico stood in for Texas. Yeah, I'm sure it was cheap to shoot in Texas, but for whatever reason,
it's even cheaper to shoot in Mexico. So there you go.
Yeah, they could use the money, right? They got to build a wall soon, so. No. Just kidding.
Don't want to touch that.
As quickly as possible.
Just kidding.
Let's not touch that.
Just kidding. So.
Yeah, all in all, great movie.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it.
Oh, well, it doesn't end there, though, because Chris Pine, of course, has his moment where he finds out.
Oh, the whole reason they're trying to get the money back for the house is that Chris Pine is divorced to his wife, and he has 2 sons, and he wants to leave the ranch to his sons because they found oil on the ranch, and I think they make $50,000 a month. which turns out to $600,000 a year. So he's pretty much like trying to set up his sons. He's not keeping the place for himself. He's giving it to his sons. Mm-hmm. So go ahead and talk about the end of it.
All right, so he's at the bar in the casino when he was switching out the money, and he finds out on the news that his brother was killed, blah, blah, blah. And then it kind of, without really saying it, it kind of time jumps a little bit, jumps ahead a bit. And now Jeff Bridges is retired. He goes in and he's talking to one of the other Rangers about looking through their file. And he basically thinks it's like it has to be the brother because they never caught the second robber, right? Who could it be? So he says it's got to be the robber. It's got to be the robber. And the other ranger, she's like, no, there's no reason to connect him. He's never been arrested. Blah blah blah. He's like, I know who it is. So he leaves and he ends up going to the ranch that they were at. And Chris Pine walks up with one of those old like Western rifles that's like one of those like
Winchester.
Yeah, like a Winchester.
It's like a flintlock. Yeah.
Yeah. Flintlock, yeah. And he's just like, I know you have a gun, so I might as well have a gun kind of thing. And Jeff Bridges is like, how did you do it? No, I'll figure that out. Why did you do it? And then his family shows up, and he's like, well, it's not my house, it's their house. Like, I don't live here, I'm just working on the house.
Like, oh, it's their house.
And
things we won't do for our kids.
Yeah, because he's like, oh, I'm an old friend of your dad's.
I'm sorry, Jeff Bridges. Things we won't do for our kids. Just put a dick in your mouth and sound like Jeff Bridges.
Yeah. So, and Chris Pine's like, hey, if you ever want to finish this conversation, like, I live, just outside of town, whatever, I'd love to have you, kind of thing. Basically, they're saying, like, if we see each other again, I'm gonna kill you, kind of thing. That's what I took it as.
It's kind of unseen showdown.
I took it as, like, Jeff Bridges totally recognizes, like, why he did it and also agrees that the banks are totally fucked up. So he kind of wants to hear how he took on the banks. That's how I took it.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of saw it as like
I'm not going to kill you in front of your family.
Right.
So
at some point, we're going to get one of us is going to get the other kind of thing. That's how I took it. So because he's saying, we were both going to be haunted by it for the rest of our lives, whatever, blah blah blah, guilty of it or something. So yeah, I would give it probably a 7.5 out of 10. I liked it. I thought it was good.
I agree. I would
recommend it to a friend.
Mm-hmm.
I recommend it to you, Patrick.
I look forward to it. I like that. Especially the ending. I like how they kind of end resolve, but just kind of keep going to it.
Who would really like that flick is Gerald Foster.
Because he said he wanted to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he'll like that.
Because the writer was also the writer from Sicario.
That's right. Yeah. That is right.
The dude who directed it was he did a bunch of other independents I didn't recognize. He's British, making a Texan movie, but hey, it worked. It didn't feel
Brit do
out of
Batman
place.
movies too, I think.
That's true. But Gotham's not real, Patrick, so it doesn't really matter. But
well, unlike some people.
Unlike some people, what?
Batman
is not real.
Batman's not real. Did you see that post that Theo shared the other day on Facebook that was like,
all these
492 billionaires in the United States, not one of these losers decided to become Batman.
Yeah. I see that all the time.
It's true. Do it.
Billionaires. Are you listening to this? Go be Batman.
They have 1%ers.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
We'll leave that there, too.
Yeah.
What else?
Anything else? Well, I was telling you guys, going back to more like comic book news, there's an Instagram page called heroic.gateway, and like 2 or 3 days ago, they just posted these pictures that were basically bullet points of everything that DC has planned for the next like 20 years. Mm-hmm. And it came up with all these news. They talk about the Green Lantern movie and how there might be like a hint to that at the end of Justice League, how the Green Lantern movie is going to be more like sci-fi-y compared to that kind of vibe compared to the other movies. They talked about pretty much like running HBO as far as television shows go, with having like a Blue Beetle, Booster Gold television show. What was the other television show?
The Question.
The Question was another one that was highly considered.
I'd like to see that.
They were talking about like actors and everything, and by the end of it, it was just like, why are you guys believing this? Of course, it's rumors. Why are you pissed off?
Oh, but what's not rumors is Black Lightning is coming.
Yes.
From Greg Berlanti.
Awesome.
Another Greg.
Yeah. Which is awesome. Greg's do great things
running the world, man.
In the comic book universe. The Black Lightning, I'm super excited for that. I'm also really excited for that because I hope that sets up a live-action Static Shock, too, because they're both, like, black guys with electricity powers.
He's got to at least make a cameo on the show. I mean, it's just... Oh, if you kind of missed opportunity, they don't make, like, some...
I have no idea. I'm not that big of a comic book fan to know if Black Lightning and
Static Shock
have any, like, relation. I know that it's not, like, he gave him his powers or anything, because Static Shock got his powers from his dad who works at Star Labs. It's kind of like a cyborg thing, basically. But I have no idea if their paths ever crossed, but if they do, it'd be so sweet to have that in the show. Jaden Smith, your mom's on Fox. You could easily be on CW.
Your dad's in the DC movie universe.
Yeah, man. I think you're just born to do it. What would Willow be?
Black Lightning's daughter, because it's supposed to be his daughter joins a gang or something like that, and that brings him out of retirement back to Black Lightning.
There you go.
Oh.
So Greg Berlanti is the main producer on it. Go figure. He's the Jeff Johns of the DC TV universe, even though Jeff Johns is kind of everything.
But Greg Berlanti does very, very good work.
He does, and they're shopping it at networks right now. It's probably going to end up at the CW just because it makes the most sense to keep them all in one house. Mm-hmm. It'll probably be the Friday show, so we'll have no lives when it comes to shows. Although we'll
be like 2-hour episodes now.
We're going to be watching it on a delay, so our shows will be Tuesday through Saturday. But
we don't have cable.
We don't have cable here,
which is fine.
Which is fine because we spend way too much on other things. So
yeah,
cable is a good choice.
It's not the worst thing in the world to happen.
We probably should have done this show in the dark because our electricity bill is going to be right up the roof.
Yeah, I mean, if you need to watch it live, we can just go to Kyle's room.
He's giving us the generous smile.
Pending
of
invitation.
Hell no.
But all those things I was reading about DC Universe, even if it's rumors or not. Just the fact that I do believe that they're like super planned out for the next 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's some.
They're definitely talking about all of this. It's
Yeah.
just not official.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some truth in it. Definitely.
Now, there has been other also news that is definitely happening that Deathstroke is going to be the main villain, main antagonist in the Batman movie.
Some test footage that was kind of leaked by Ben Affleck,
which was sick.
You look pretty cool.
However, I'm not a fan of who everybody wants to be Deathstroke.
Joe Manganiello.
I'm not a fan.
I can see the look, but
No.
maybe some a little more experience. I can see that.
I need an older dude, for one.
Like Stephen Lang
Yes.
from Don't Breathe. Yeah.
Yes, Stephen Lang would be perfect, I think.
Yeah, but Stephen Lang might be Cable. People are wanting him to be Cable, even though Kyle Chandler's the top choice for Cable right now.
But I just don't see Joe being Deathstroke.
I would say Ron Perlman, but he's going to be probably going to be Swamp Thing.
Yeah. He's too big for Deathstroke.
Joe, I
anyway.
think he looks kind of close to Manu Bennett a little bit. If you kind of from a distance, he kind of looks like him. That's why
a little bit, but like Manu Bennett had like a younger Deathstroke.
Yeah.
Like I definitely think that the fact that we're having an older Batman,
Deathstroke has to be older.
Deathstroke has to be kind of an old man, and mostly in at least the video games and the comics, he's probably in his like 50s or 60s. But because he has that like serum in him, he is obviously physically fit to do. I don't know if it's Mirakuru in the comics, but it's some kind of like serum like that.
Well, speaking of Manu Bennett, they said, or at least Stephen Amell said that just because he's in the movies, their whole show all along, they were never told, like, you have to kill this character off or you can't use him anymore because we're going to use him in the movies. He says that it was purely for story choice on the shows. Like, when they killed off Amanda Waller, they killed off Deadshot and stuff. I don't know if I believe that.
Steven, I don't know if I believe that either, bud.
And also with Manu Bennett, he was not really pleased with how they used his characters. I don't know if he would come back. I'd like to see him come back.
Just for like one. Just like one more.
I'd rather just see him, like, he keeps coming back
get
to
some,
kind of
get some like resolution.
Poke trouble at Arrow, and then he kind of goes away again, escapes, and then he kind of, it's like, let him be that villain that he just never seemed to capture. Yeah. You know, he can never get. So,
yeah. Like I would really like to see at some point they've for Legends in the future of Star City, Oliver Queen is One Arm because of Deathstroke's son. I would like to see Deathstroke and his son kind of interact with each other a little bit throughout whatever. Mm-hmm. I think it'd be interesting.
Yeah, they could do a future episode with Legends where they could have Manu Bennett's Deathstroke on that or something like, and then you're kind of like, oh, how did he escape? And we have to be wondering. Yeah, because right now he's in the Argus prison because they had that horrible one-off episode where like it was basically a filler episode where they go to the island and him and Oliver and Thea basically catch Manu Bennett's.
Yeah. Isn't he in prison or
he's in an Argus prison on?
No, like in real life. I thought he was.
Oh, no, I think it was
arrested.
He was arrested for like, I think it was a DUI.
It was jail. It wasn't prison.
Okay.
I think it was also disorderly conduct. I think he hit a guy.
Yeah, but I think he's out now.
Okay,
so he's cool.
Yeah, but no, the stuff like with like killing off Amanda Waller and Deadshot. especially
suspicious, yeah.
especially Amanda Waller's character. Like, to have Lila be ahead of Argus is just like,
because who's Lila? Like,
yeah,
person. Yeah.
Like even the fact that like they have that connection to Argus now. Argus is still a stupid organization that messes up all the time. It's pretty much their quota. It's like, all right, we have this Argus company, but they're going to make a lot of mistakes because they have no idea what's going on with this stuff. And that's all they're doing. Even with Lila and Char's, like with King Shark, same freaking thing. So I find that to be a little bit just suspicious, Steven. I really do.
I think, now that I think about it, I think I would have rather seen them do a Suicide Squad TV show and then not do Legends. If they would have done, like, let that show be kind of.
I mean, if they weren't doing the movie, but.
Yeah,
instead of the movie, like, do the show and, like, just put a lot of money into that.
But I wouldn't want the Suicide Squad show to be on CW.
No, I guess
I'd rather like an HBO or like an AMC.
Yeah, I get that edge to it.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, like, with CW compared to, like, the NBC with Supergirl.
Or Fox.
CBS. She's gonna have,
does a good
she's gonna have, I think, a bit more edge in CW, hopefully. Yeah.
Superman's coming to. Okay. Explain this to me. Why are we allowed to now have 2 Supermen, but we can't have, and we kind of have 2 Batman, right? All that stuff, but they're not like allowed to use other bigger names like on television. They can't use the Green Lantern, right? They can't use like all these.
I don't know if they can't. I think they just choose not to.
That or I think they have a plan set out. We just aren't there yet. Where we maybe can see
because like
Green
they keep
Lantern.
teasing with Arrow. Oh, here's Ferris Air, and then there's the guy with the jacket. This is Jordan, like all that stuff, right?
No, like, they could tease it all at once because I think it's just fun for them to do it, and I think they can basically because it's nice.
Build up anticipation,
it's not like they're teasing that they're going to bring in Green Lantern. They're just teasing like Green Lantern exists in this universe or Hal Jordan exists in this universe because it's a DC thing. But at no capacity do I expect them to create like a Green Lantern show, and then neither at no capacity do I expect them to say there is a Green Lantern Corps, especially because Supergirl is on Earth 3. Oliver Queen and the Flash don't even know that. Flash does, but like Oliver Queen doesn't know Superman exists. As far as we know, Batman definitely exists. If not Batman, Oracle exists in the Green Arrow universe. We know that for a fact.
On Earth 1.
On Earth 1, because Oliver hinted at it when he called Felicity Overwatch. So we know that exists, definitely. Do I expect them to create a Batman show or bring in the Batman?
The Batman is there because remember Rip Hunter says I've seen Men of Steel fall or die and Dark Knights fall.
Okay.
So that we know Batman is there.
All right. Okay. We know Batman's there, but do I expect them to get a Batman on the show?
No, because
only as a desperation move, which is what they're doing for Supergirl right now because
the ratings.
I don't know if it's a desperation move.
It might be. I say this because they had to change networks because they couldn't do well enough on CBS to continue, so they had to move the CW. The only reason they involved the Flash is because the ratings were so low from the first half of the season.
True.
The reason they're bringing Superman is to create more of a presence and get more ratings.
Because also fans were upset that they weren't really using him.
Yeah, but how different would it have been if they started at the CW from the beginning? I think the producers and stuff have said it's like we should have been there from the start.
If they would have started there from the beginning, I think it would have probably had a little bit more viewership than what it started with and how it did on CBS. Because CBS, it's so hard to just like create that on a major network.
It's hard to compete with CW. It really is.
Yeah, well, and like Gotham, although it's a show about the beginning of Batman, it's not so far away from a regular detective show, right? Because it's following Jim Gordon and everything. Supergirl is about an alien with superpowers on a major network show that normally does not do well.
Well, that's why I don't think we're going to see Batman because we already now technically have 2, right? We already have 2 Bruce Waynes. We have Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne. We have David Mazouz's Bruce Wayne, right? Mm-hmm. So we're not going to see now an adult Batman in the CW verse. If they want to do Batwoman, okay, maybe
Batgirl, I don't know.
Batgirl, maybe.
I think someone from the Bat family. I think
I'm totally chill with a Nightwing cameo too. I'm totally okay with that because that makes sense to me. Because in that Arrow universe, it's not like these big superpowers. It's just like the vigilante type guys, right? Mm-hmm. So I think a Nightwing makes total sense. I would love. Did you sigh? Did you sigh, Kyle?
Yeah, I fucking sigh.
They mentioned Bloodhaven, where he lives.
Exactly.
So.
I mean, again, it's another one of those like tease things. Like, this is the DC universe. Let's just name drop all these cities.
And Hub City, where the question is.
I mean, I'm still a huge fan of a live action Teen Titans show, so that's why I say the whole Nightwing
They're not
thing.
making it.
I know, but I'm just a fan of it. I like
so
the
maybe
idea.
that could be their way.
I love Young
it.
Justice. I love the Teen Titans. I love the sidekick superheroes like coming together.
I didn't realize
think it's awesome
to bring Slade back into it that's where he started. Like I knew he was on the cartoon show, but I didn't realize he was specifically in the Teen Titans comics. I thought they just kind of stuck him there for the show.
No.
So that's interesting. And then he became, more of a staple for Batman.
Right.
In later years. But
later comics, especially the video games too, Deathstroke's a really, really big name in the story arcs for that. It's normally like a side mission of villains that they
Well, he was big in
show.
Arkham Origins because he was one of the assassins against Batman, which I just watched that clip earlier today of their fight, which I was like, oh my god, this graphics looks cool. And they're fighting each other in the snow and stuff, and then Deadshot jumps in at the end.
Yeah.
But
no, I mean, I think with the Black Lightning thing and the Supergirl thing and bringing in Superman, they're still in the development process. Like, they have very, very good 2 staple shows of Arrow and Flash. They're definitely losing steam on Arrow, but it's still there. It's kind of the centerpiece
it's the base,
of the whole CW universe.
Right.
So, and even so, with them still bringing in characters, they're still young with it. They're still bringing in all these things. So I think we still have to wait a little bit longer until we're like, okay, what the fuck are they doing? You know what I mean? Because even especially with Arrow, like we talk about all the time how season 3 was atrocious, season 4 was a little bit better, and all these things. And season 5 is gonna be, we don't know what's gonna happen. At the same time, they're still at this young base and they're still building off of the show all these other shows. So don't take it for what it's worth right now, but take it for what it's about to become. And I think the CW and network television in general is going to have a great showcase of all these characters in the same world. And I'm really excited for it. And that's my speech.
And they said that they're like, we're not going to do any more shows on the CW superhero shows, Black Lightning. But then again, it could end up on NBC, which would be a mistake because Constantine. They could put it on CBS, but that could be a mistake. Supergirl. They could.
I think it would fit well on ABC.
You think so?
ABC has like a different vibe
ABC is
to it.
kind of Marvel though because it's Disney.
True.
Yeah, so
You know
I
what?
can't-
So
Yeah,
their
that's-
only hope is Fox or CW, unless they're going to go AMC or higher up.
FX.
FX
Fox.
is a bit raunchy.
Legion's is FX, I think. Isn't it? Or that's Fox.
Legion.
Legion
Legion
Is
Marvel.
FX, yeah.
Legion's
Yeah,
FX.
Okay.
So Marvel.
Yeah, but isn't FX an affiliate of Fox?
Yeah, that's true. It's sister network or daughter network or something like that.
So I mean, either way, but I don't know.
I think it's going to be the CW.
I can't see like any like the major like film like HBO. I don't know. I can't see them being interested in that kind of
Not
show.
Black
That
Lightning.
that'll feel like kind of like this should be on CW.
Yeah.
Just,
I'm really upset that Marvel got to Netflix first. I'll tell you what. I'm pretty upset by that because DC has nowhere to go with streaming services. Not too many people have Hulu. Amazon's kind of a joke in a way. Like they don't have a good streaming service to go to where they're gonna get a lot of viewership. So I'm kind of upset that Marvel.
No, yeah, Netflix is
I
definitely the juggernaut.
Marvel is definitely doing a fantastic job of what they're doing. But being a DC fan, I'm a little upset
if
that they get
Netflix
Netflix
was
first.
smart, they would just play that neutral card and be like, yeah, we'll take some DC
I don't know why they don't. Like, yeah, just bring in the revenue, please.
Because Netflix is smart.
Yeah.
Like those people that make the decisions over there
Yeah,
are like
but if you think about it, like
geniuses.
so like Disney owns Marvel, right? They're having every single Disney movie.
That's what they said, but when is that happening?
This is,
You know what it is? I read into it. It's every future Disney movie. I'm pretty sure it's every Disney movie, future Disney movie starting in this September, like now.
Oh, that's
So like not Zootopias or something like that.
Oh, Warner Brothers capitalize now.
So anything like Star Wars Episode 8, Doctor Strange, Guardians.
I just want to watch the 13th year in Luck of the Irish every day. Is that so hard to ask, Netflix? Jesus.
I just want to watch The Lion King whenever I want to.
Oh
or
my
Aladdin.
god, that's so disappointing. I hope that's not true.
Because we're a week into September. Where's the Disney movies?
Unless it's at the end of September, I don't know.
Well, I looked at the list of like what's coming. It didn't even say
I'll have to
the
double check.
word Disney.
But
Article.
regardless, Disney is such a huge corporation, and they own a ton of media. And they're also very temperamental and are they show like loyalty a lot. So if Netflix were to show a DC movie or stream a DC show or whatever, Disney would be pissed. And they would probably take off content of Netflix, and that would lose a lot of streaming shit for Netflix.
I think Netflix would be just fine.
I'm sure they would, but I'm telling you, man, like, there's a strong percentage of movies on Netflix right now that are Disney. They're a really high percentage.
True, but I don't know if they start.
I go as far as say 15%.
If they started jumping ship and then went to DC and started making content the way they do with Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and then they started bringing in like other Warner Brothers movies and stuff like that,
I don't think Disney
they'd
would be
just
like
fine.
too scared by it. I don't know. Like they're on a pretty confident
They could
streak.
make their own freaking streaming network if they really wanted.
Oh,
to.
they have like their own convention too. So like, you might as well.
They're just fine. And because you know why Disney? I'm reading that book, Sleepless in Hollywood, which I recommend to anyone interested in how the movies are working. She mentions like all these like Paramount and Warner Brothers. They all kind of took these hits when they started doing these tentpoles because at first they weren't like jumping on the bandwagon to do it. So mostly Paramount. So they didn't have their franchise, right? They don't have or franchise movies. Mm-hmm. Disney, I don't think it even like knocked them over at all. Like it didn't move them at all because they still have Disney World, Disneyland, you know, all the movies, the games, all that stuff.
Like with Paramount, I mean, they were
millions and billions of dollars.
Originally, they were distributing the Indiana Jones films, but not anymore because Disney will be doing that.
That's right.
Yeah.
And same with Star Wars. Paramount or 20th Century Fox used to have Star Wars, and now they still own the fourth one, the original film. But like, so
that's why I think we'll never see like a re-release of it because technically Disney wouldn't be doing that. Yeah, 20th Century Fox would be.
And George Lucas doesn't have a hand in it anymore, so. The only way they would do it is, I mean, unless they got permission to do a box set, which I'm sure, because they're not going to do like, here, get this box set of all 9 movies except 4. You know,
unless like Disney does it like what they did with Marvel and Sony with Spider-Man, where they kind of shared, they do it with 25th Strokes, and they come together to make this happen.
Yeah, it's just it would be a home release. It's not like you're putting the movie back because it's been made.
Yeah.
It's like so when they do the 40th anniversary is next year of the original film. So they'll probably do something special, some kind of release for it, and suckers will buy it and stuff. 20th Century Fox will probably do it, but if they try to do it as like a trilogy thing, it'll have to have a hand with Disney. So.
But Disney is also just such a money grabber. Like, I love Disney. I own shares in Disney. I think it's a great company. But they're all about the money. That's all they're about right now. That's why they buy Marvel. That's why they buy Star Wars.
I think they're already like double.
No, but like even like a Warner Brothers. Like I just feel like there's a little more like grounded history with them, and like they're just a film production company. That's pretty much all they do. I mean, they
film
television and like video games, compared to Disney, which has theme parks, television shows, action figures, like all this extra shit. I don't know. I think it's just a different vibe over at these production companies like Warner Brothers, 20th Century Fox, Paramount, Sony, where although it's about the money, like there's still some little more loyalty there. I don't know.
No, I know what you mean. It's just interesting, especially now reading like I said, that book and stuff. I'm paying attention to it more and realizing how much, how much studios have gone into these tentpoles and franchises. And okay, can we make this into a universe? And it's like it's supposed to be a one-off movie. We don't make these one-off movies anymore. So like Hell or High Water. You had to go independent with that movie because Warner Brothers or Paramount or whatever, they're not going to make that movie anymore. They're just not, because there's no way. They're not going to be like, and in the second Hell or High Water, Chris Pine comes back and like realizes he has a third brother, and it's like, no.
Hell or Higher Water.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be like, it's like : higher water or something, yeah. So it's like, there's no franchise in that, right? So
the third one we call? Highest Water.
Yeah, higher, highest. Jeff Bridges would be dead by then, and they just whatever.
It's his son coming back from revenge. No.
It's CG.
The second one is his partner's son that comes back for revenge on Chris Pine. That's what happened.
Yeah, that's the story. Okay, practically right.
You killed my father.
We better to die. Just turned into Princess Bride. So that's why you have to go independent for that stuff, and that's why I like independent, because you get to do more. Interesting and original things.
And that's the dream, isn't it?
Living a dream. Yep. Great day to be a Mustang.
All right. I think that's everything.
That's all I have to say. Yeah.
Cool. Be sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Follow us, tell your friends, tell your grandmother, tell your dead dog from 7 years.
Wow.
Whoever you want to tell.
Up, man.
Really stupid.
Be sure to check out all the friends we mentioned earlier in the episode. Be sure to check out our friend Ryan Scher and his video game commentary YouTube channel, Lethal Llama. Check out our friend Seth and his band, The Young
And
Poet.
Greg will try to sound more exciting next time he does this.
I'm so tired. I was up to like 3 in the morning last night playing video games, so I apologize for the lack of energy and the increased sexual jokes. But what are you gonna do? Anything else?
Patrick, you have a... wait. Sorry, go ahead.
Do you want to promote your movie?
Oh, yeah. So, shameless plug time. So, I'm currently in pre-production, almost production, on my senior film, Good Luck Duck. We're still looking for some funds to, feed us and get the proper things that we need. My brother and I just went shopping today. I'm pretty sure some people thought we were like a little gay couple or something shopping for home things because we're buying pillows and vases and things, so anyway, we need money to do that kind of stuff, and then we have Patrick's is coming up too. Support him. We'll be making his page soon. Just support local film, all that kind of stuff. Support your arts, kids.
Keep it on the table.
Me?
Yeah, keep making the table move. Just do it. I dare you.
Support your local arts. And Patrick?
And be sure to check us out, Same Geek Time, Same Geek Channel. This episode is brought to you by Tongue FM. Believe it or not, Tongue FM has more options for you to choose from. With Tongue, you can share clips of podcasts on Twitter and Facebook. You can also comment on episodes and @mention friends so they can get notifications and whatnot. It's about time there was a podcast app where you could find out about all the great podcasts out there without relying on iTunes reviews. And also, don't worry, Tongue also includes the standard podcast player features like getting notifications for subscribed episodes, the ability to download episodes for offline playback, and variable playback speed. All in all, check out Tongue FM.